Hey YouTube, what's up? My name is Greg, and this is Greg Does. Today we're going to be replacing the drive belt on a John Deere D105 riding mower. I've got the parts in hand, so please join me outside in my garage, and we'll get started. This job is actually a very quick one. Shouldn't take longer than 30 minutes once you know what you're doing. Taking the deck off can be done by removing 5 cotter pins and a spring. Then we remove a few bolts, and at that point we're good to swap the belt and put it all back together. Here I'll point out the location of the 5 cotter pins that need to be removed. Each of those cotter pins has a washer behind them, and those need to be slid off too. Here's one. There's 2. Moving over to the left side of the mower, we find number 3. There's the 4th. And the last one is up at the front on the tongue. That one is a funny looking cotter pin, but its function is the same as the others. Here's a quick time lapse of me doing the work. Now once you're about halfway out, you'll need to stop to remove the spring. That spring acts as an adjustable tensioner, and there are 2 points that hold it in place. The first is another cotter pin. Once you remove that, you can pull it out and release the back of the spring. Once that's removed, you can just twist the spring out of its hole. Next, we'll remove these 2 black plastic covers. They take an 11mm socket wrench, and there are 3 bolts holding one cover and 2 holding the other. Now that we've exposed the deck, this is a good time to give it a little clean out. Debris tends to get caught in here, so let's give this a little blow off. The last bit of prep is going to be using a 15mm socket to loosen this tensioner pulley here. We can squeeze the belt around the other pulleys, but this one is going to need to be loosened. You don't need to remove it, just loosen it enough to get the pulley maybe a ½ inch of play, so you can squeeze the belt in. My bolt required a little gentle persuading. At this point, we simply string the belt around the pulleys and spindles as shown. This is where you'll thank yourself for loosening that pulley a minute ago. Now it's just a matter of putting everything back together, and we start by tightening up that pulley we just loosened. Next, we're going to put those covers back on. Again, 3 bolts in one, 2 in the other. Now we're going to slide that deck about halfway back under the mower so the tensioner spring can be reconnected. First, you'll feed the end with the Z-bend into its hole. Then we can fuss with the other end that clips into the adjustable perch, with a cotter pin securing it. It's not easy to do with one hand, so I'll put the camera down. Okay, so now that the cotter pin is in, we can push the deck the rest of the way under the mower and remount it. Again, we've got that single connection at the front, 2 connections on the right, and 2 on the left. Once those 5 mounts are slid back in place, with the washers and pins securing them, we can finish by wrapping the belt around the PTO spindle. Don't worry if the belt's a little loose, it's supposed to be at this point. This metal perch can be slid forward and backward to adjust the tension on the belt if need be, but the tension on this belt seemed fine, so we're not going to get into that here. You can see the play in the belt when the drive isn't engaged, but once we engage the drive, which I just did off camera, things tighten up. And that's all she wrote. So that's it. That's how you replace the drive belt on a John Deere D105 riding mower. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And comment if you'd like to see others like it. Until next time, I'm Greg, and this is How I Does.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up.